Reality Stitches.
Where reality TV meets cross stitch.
Woohoo! I'm Barbara, otherwise known as Stitch It with Grammy.
And I'm Neil at Neil and Needle. And welcome!
We have done another week of Big Brother. Are you excited?
I'm pumped. I can't believe it's like day 17 in the house, though.
Right? And there's
It's
been
so many days.
so many movements and changes this week. It was kind of hard to keep up with who was on the block and who wasn't. And woo, let's get into it, Neil. It was a wonderful week of a lot of excitement and drama.
Yes, I love that Jimmy was like, I want my HOH to go really smoothly. And it was the utmost chaotic.
Right? And I don't know if you caught it. The tag phrase, like Big Brother, Survivor has outlast and outplay, whatever. Big Brothers is expect the unexpected. And it was funny when Jimmy said, well, I just expect the expected this week. And that didn't happen.
Yeah, no, I have heard many players say expect the unexpected. That makes sense that it's the tagline. I
Yep.
think I almost even wrote it down like, what is happening?
Yeah,
Why are so many people saying this?
Because a couple years ago, I don't know what season, it was a twist. Every time you turn around, Julie would just say that phrase, that tagline, and they knew another twist was coming. And one time they had identical twins playing, and one would go out and the other would come in, and it was so cool. And so somebody keeps saying there's triplets this year. I don't know where I heard that. It's going on out in the interwebs that there are a set of triplets that are playing together. I don't know if that's true. But Vince and Ava, and I can't remember who the third one is. I don't know. But expect the unexpected.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yes. So
So
I
would
don't
they reveal that at the end?
Or it might come into play throughout the season somehow. Julie will say, "Hey, we've got a twist or mystery." Sometimes they do that. And like one year Rachel's sister was on. I think that might have
Okay.
been season 13. When Rachel won, I think her sister was on. I don't know if they were together. I can't remember. These seasons all meld into one after a while. But yeah, they do those kind of twists. So expect the unexpected.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. We
Yes.
had
Woo!
episodes 5, 6, and 7 this week was our Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. And at the end of episode 4, the beginning of episode 5, was the aftermath of the eviction. And of course, Zay was evicted last week. And so the big thing that they were mostly talking about was the flip. Who flipped?
Right.
Because the numbers weren't matching up. Like
The math
someone.
the math wasn't mathing.
Exactly, yeah. The math was not mathing, and they were like, someone in the Burger Boy Alliance has flipped and didn't vote for Zay. And, or did vote for Zay, I mean. And, so yeah, I don't know how Riley has gone so undetected. No
I
one even
know.
questioned Riley. I don't know why they questioned Will. Like Will is such a man of integrity.
Right, exactly. And Riley, he went right in there right away and talked to Rachel and Amy, and just got them to believe in him and all of that and to keep his secret. And then you didn't see him on the episode again. He didn't really talk. Um,
No, we didn't see him until he had a mustache and a pink shirt on in the eviction on Thursday.
well, Keanu came up to him and said, "Who did you vote for?" Kind of got in his
Oh
face
yeah.
in the living room. And he's like, he didn't really say a whole lot. And then crickets, you didn't hear any more about him or how people questioned him or whether or not it was come into question that he was the one that flipped, because we all know he flipped. But Will's getting thrown under the bus about it, and that's too bad. And the more he protests that he didn't do it, the more guilty he looks. So
Right.
that's why, the Burger
It's
Boys
just
are.
like, and who else in the Burger Boys again? It's Zach. I have it written down. I should like create like an actual just spreadsheet of alliances that I track, like,
Yes, that would be good.
so
That
I
would be
don't have to
good.
like look back in my notes because this week they talked about having the triple threats, and I was like, okay, so that's Mickey and Morgan, and I was like, who is the third one? Which it ended up being Jimmy, but I was like, I could not remember who was part of this.
Right. I
Let's
didn't remember
see.
that either. And that really didn't matter because the two girls were upset with who he nominated, and
Right,
you'll see down as we get into these seasons why, or these episodes. But I don't even
right.
remember that being established. It might have happened on, in the feeds or something. But that
It
would be good
happened
to.
really quick in a hallway, and they were like, they didn't even like show very much talking. They were just like, let's lock in on these three. And
Oh,
then
gotcha.
but I didn't, I wrote down the alliance, but I didn't write down triple threats.
Right.
So I think that maybe happened off camera. And, cause I was like, who is this? Also, last week I kept calling her Vicky. Her name is Mickey with an M. So,
Oh, yeah. And it would be cool
oops.
if you kept those spreadsheets because, all these statistics and numbers. It would be interesting at the end to find out how many alliances there were, how many lasted, how many weeks they lasted. It would be fun, and keeping a spreadsheet, you'd be able to pull those numbers together. It'd be kind of fun to see.
Yeah, and I've definitely written them down so I could easily like catch up and make it right now.
Yes.
Although I'm can't I here's the heavy hitters. Where is the Burger Boys? I know that I wrote it down because I wrote all of them down. Um I don't know. If I don't find it, I'll have it for next time. I will make a thing. Oh, Burger Boys, here we go.
Yeah.
Zach, Zay, Vince, Will, and Riley. So Zay was gone. Vince couldn't vote because he was HOH.
Right.
So it was between Zach, Will, and Riley. And Zach was like distraught that Zay went home.
I still can't believe
So,
how upset. And even this week in the recaps, they keep showing him crying like, his dog died
yeah.
or something.
I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, so it was between Zach, Will, and Riley. And like, like, they didn't even question Riley. Like, I mean, Keanu asked him like one time, but like
Right.
Keanu's not even in the Burger Boys. So I don't
He's
even
not?
know. No, Keanu's not in that alliance. So
That's
I mean,
hilarious. Okay. So he's
it's
in the
can
heavy hitters? Is he in the heavy hitters?
no. The heavy hitters are Jimmy, Rachel, Morgan, Zach, Vince, and Riley. Okay, see, I was wondering why Riley would. He was like, I voted for Amy to stay because I gave my word to her and Rachel. And I was thinking, well, why is your word like, are you just like that much of a cowboy gentleman where like your word is everything and your alliances mean nothing? Like, just your word means something? But he is in the strong five. Well, sorry, I'm calling it the strong five, but the heavy hitters. He is in that with Rachel. So maybe, and I mean, a lot of people don't want to get on Rachel's bad side. So
Right. But
maybe
Amy,
that's why he did that. But he like fucked over so many other people.
right. I don't see that alliance staying intact too long.
No, me either. So that was all very interesting. And they started talking about, they would be like, well, it's the guys versus the girls. But they were like, it's the guys plus Kelly and the girls plus Jimmy,
Right.
which was really cute. I thought that was really funny.
And technically, and Riley.
Yeah, and Riley now, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So the next thing that happened was the break in. So everything goes dark, and there's like alarms going off, and everybody moves. So do break ins have to happen often? Like, people seem to know what to do. Like,
Right. I kind of was thinking that same thing too. Okay, they must have been told, hey, the alarm's going to go off, and when it goes off, you have to do X, Y, and Z. Because they just,
right,
everybody got up and started running. But for what?
right,
And then they were going like back and forth in the living room and then back this way. I don't know if that was just to make good TV or what, but what were they running for?
right. They were like, something's been taken, something's been taken, and I was like, and so in my mind, I was like, oh, this must just happen all the time. Like, this
No,
is just a part of the Big Brother,
no,
game mechanics. But it's not. Okay, it's just,
no. It each season there's something different that goes on. Like last time we talked about the veto competition. Sometimes you get a
right.
punishment, all that stuff. So this is just part of whatever this is with the mystery.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so I literally wrote, everyone knew what was happening. And then somebody was like, oh no, it's going to be an in the dark challenge. So are
right,
there often challenges that are potentially in the dark? Okay.
absolutely, absolutely. And this one was a doozy. That was a really big one.
Yes. So this one is our HOH challenge entitled BB Break In. And so the challenge was that the mastermind had broken in and he had hidden the key, which is like represents the head of household position, and then three superpowers that had been hidden, but then there were also decoys
Right,
of those. And then they were literally in sewers and like some
right,
sort of basement esque thing.
right.
And there was, packing boxes full of shit. Not actual shit, but like, but
How do we
like,
know? I mean, it's supposed to be
I
a sewer, right?
I mean, honestly, so it was like packing boxes full of like paper and trash and packing peanuts and
And
um
water and wetness and
water. Yeah,
stinkiness.
like
And they are
actual water.
totally,
Yeah.
totally in the dark. And
Well, they
then
had
obviously
blindfolds on.
it's night vision, so we can see.
Oh, right. We can. Yeah.
Right. And so Ava, when they start talking about the whole competition, she's like, I don't do dark. I'm just gonna sit here. And she just sat on one of the props in the sewer and just sat there.
Yeah.
She didn't try to go find anything. She didn't venture out of that room much at all. And I just had to laugh.
I did
Hey,
too. I wrote I would be Ava. Just sit down.
yep, I'm just gonna sit down.
Yeah. So yeah, that was so interesting to watch, and people also had different strategies. Like, so the way that it worked is if you found one of the things, you would put it in a dumbwaiter that had the shape of the thing you're looking for, and then it would like lift into the sky and announce that somebody had it.
Right,
And so many, well, not so many, only a couple people um, went to the dumbwaiters first. Jimmy did this, and Vince did it. They went and felt the dumbwaiters for the shape, so they knew
right,
what shape they were looking for, which
right,
was so smart. I don't know why
right.
everybody didn't think about that,
And
but
Keanu did too.
yeah, yeah,
And
and so
Mickey did, and I think Kelly did at the end too.
yeah, and so yeah, I put Jimmy smart dumbwaiter shapes, Vince same, and then I put ooh in all caps, actual sewer.
Yeah, the prop division and the set design people, they need some kudos because that was really realistic. That was so cool.
Yeah, you could almost just smell it,
I
like
know,
looking
right?
at it. Like it just feels and like smells slimy and gross and damp and
Yeah, they've had competitions before where they've had to run in and go into something where they crawl into a room and they crawl through like sticky honey, and then they got this stuff all over them, and then they go in a room that has feathers, and there it's they get stuff all over them. It is so cool how they come up with these scenarios and competitions. They're all, I mean, they have the classics like we said, but some of these random ones, oh my gosh, they're so unique. So cool. You'll
Yeah.
see as the season goes on.
Yeah. So Keanu finds the first superpower, and he gets the mystery competitor power, which allows it doubles his chances to get the golden veto. So a mystery competitor, gets to come in and be one of the six in the veto game.
Right.
Um, and then if they win, then he gets the veto from them.
So
Which
basically, he has two chances to win the veto in
right.
one game. So, yeah.
And I wrote down all of them expire when the jury begins. Not
Right.
that that matters anymore for some of them.
Right. Well, one of them, maybe.
Right, yeah. So Keanu got that power, and then Jimmy ended up getting head of household. And then Jimmy was smart. He just sat there with Ava
Yep.
and was like, I'm going to figure out, I'm going to sit next to this other dumbwaiter so I will know who has that power.
Right.
Which was
That was
also
pretty
super
smart.
smart. Yeah. It's funny because Ava could have done that because she was sitting there the whole time.
Right.
But like Ava didn't think about I mean, at least they don't show her thinking about that at all.
Right. She could have known all three of those superpowers. She could have known each person that got it.
Yeah. And then Mickey got the next power, and I wrote in parentheses, lols, not Vicky. Mickey. And Mickey's power was.
Yeah, her power is really kind of cool.
Yeah, and where did I write down what her. It was called HOH interrogation, and I'm sure that I have. Okay, so the rules of hers was that she would get to anonymously dethrone the HOH and take over, but the dethroned HOH gets 2 or 3 minutes. I didn't write down the number of minutes, but
I think
would get
so.
like 2 or 3 minutes to interrogate each house guest, and if they correctly guess who dethroned them, then let's see.
Then
I
they
didn't
get their
pause it. I just.
power back as HOH. If
And
they
then does that person go on the block after that?
I don't know if they're automatically on the block, but chances are they're gonna have to be because I'd be
Right.
angry. Oh yeah, you did that. Well, guess what? You're on the block. But
Right.
if they guess incorrectly after interrogating all the house guests, if they guess incorrectly, then Mickey will, become the HOH.
Right. And
And
and expose herself. Yeah.
yeah, they'll make it known. Hey, you did it. You got it. But I don't think the only person that knows that she got that is Morgan, right?
Is Morgan, yeah.
That's
Which is
so
smart.
powerful. So
Yeah.
I hope she doesn't even tell Jimmy. Even
I'm
if they're
so glad that she hasn't so far. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So Kelly at one point was like, you know, scurrying around, and she was like, I'm channeling my inner sewer rat. And that was one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
And then I wrote down, I was like, Rachel is running this game. Well, I
She's
don't
trying to.
necessarily know what that was in reference to, but she just like, even though Amy ended up being evicted later in the week, spoilers, but
Was it when her and Keanu got into it?
probably because then I wrote Keanu. So,
Okay. So
but I
I don't
just
know if
wrote
that
his
was
name.
Sunday or Wednesday's episode, but she was talking to them, and they had that tender moment about his dad or whatever. So they were kind
Hmm.
of close. And then she kind of got defensive because he was talking about she asked, "Did you watch my seasons? Have you watched my seasons?" And he
Right,
said,
yeah.
"No, but I've watched the highlights." And then he started explaining that the highlights that he saw were kind of things that made her look like a villain, like not so nice. And she didn't like that. She didn't like that that's all he brought up. And she took
Yeah,
it
Rachel wants
personally.
praise. Yeah.
Exactly. Not, oh, well, the guy said that you did this and that because you're doing this. It was kind of portrayed her in a negative way. And she's like, how about because I fell in love with Brandon? And how about because I, did this for everybody? And how about because, and she got really mad, told him off, and left the room. Rachel
Yeah.
has left the room.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened, and another thing happened, but I'll bring that up after we finish with Kelly. So Kelly got the third mystery power,
Yes.
which was a mystery veto, which Jimmy knew. Jimmy, in the dark, like was helping Rachel. They're air quotes here, helping Kelly try to find the dumbwaiter. When really he was like, "What shape is this?" And he knew he was like, "This is the shape of a veto."
Right.
So he knew that her power probably had something to do with that, which it did. It was the mystery veto, which means she would get she could activate it during a veto meeting, and she would get the chance to play a separate solo challenge. And if she won, then she could take someone off of the block.
She got another veto. There was another
Yeah,
veto,
yeah, another veto.
golden
Yeah,
power of veto. She got the necklace. She was able to use it to save herself or someone else.
right. Which also expired at the jury.
Right.
So, so then everyone was trying to figure out after the challenge. Well, okay, so Jimmy gets head of household, and everybody's like, "Great, Jimmy's head of household. How is this gonna go?" I feel like it's pretty polarizing. Like Jimmy is polarizing, so either you're like in with Jimmy or you're not.
Right.
And but everyone was trying to figure out who had the powers, and Jimmy was like, well, if anybody likes me, like that's a straight ticket to the block. Um and so Rachel and Keanu are in the kitchen. I think she was looking for the nutmeg, and she was like, or maybe that was when the other conversation, but she asks him straight up, "Do you have a power?" And he's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"No." And she's like, "He's lying to me."
Right. They were
Like
they
she
were
knew he
in
was
the
lying.
they were in the not the diary room, but the storage room.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So no one else was around. And she kept asking him, "Do you have a power?" And he's like, "No, I don't. I really don't." I'm like, "You're lying." I was screaming at the TV, "You're a liar. He has it, Rachel."
Yeah, and she knew. She was like, she kept asking him, and she was like,
Mhm.
and he was kept lying, and she was just like in her confessional, she was like, I don't believe him. Like I
Right?
now no longer trust him. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Um
then came their little bickering conversation was after that, I
yeah,
think.
was after that, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we see Morgan and Mickey talking because Mickey reveals that she got a power. Because also during this time, we find out what the powers are. They get their envelopes. And I wrote down, I was like, I love Morgan and Mickey. I think they are a strong duo
Yes. I like them.
because forget Jimmy. Because I wrote triple threat alliance. Morgan, Mickey, question mark.
Uh-uh.
I was
No.
like, who else is in this? Okay, then let's see. That's at some point. It must have been during the. Did they? Did we end? Hold on, let me look at my outline here. Did we end this week with the nominations? Yes. When the
Yes.
nominations were going up on the screen, Keanu's picture is really good.
Hmm.
I wrote down, I was like, I was like, Keanu has a great photo. like,
Yeah.
um, So yeah, but then we have the nomination ceremony, and Kelly, Adrian, and Keanu are our nominees. Um, and I was just like, yeah, sure, of course, every week's a great week to have Kelly as a nominee. Like,
But then the nomination speech as to why they were nominated. Jimmy makes such good TV. I recorded the little snippet of the end, and you hadn't watched it yet, so I was gonna send it to
no,
you, and I thought, no, I'm not gonna send it. But that was my favorite line of that episode. It was so good.
yeah, it was like your gameplay is such shit. The toilet is jealous. It was something like that. Your
It,
gameplay is so bad. Yeah,
right. You're so full of shit that the toilet is
is
jealous, or
jealous. Yeah,
something like that. It was so hilarious. Classic. He's got the. He's it's good TV, I guess we can say, but it was hilarious. They did beep out the word, but it was so funny. It was hilarious. I had to rewind it and I had to record it on my phone on my TV. It was so funny. Hilarious.
yeah.
So,
Jimmy gives great speeches for
yes he
sure.
does. Yes he does.
Him and Rachel both.
Right. And Rachel's, she's been on enough reality TV. She's really good at it. She knows
Yeah.
what's going to sell, and Jimmy's right in there. So that's nominations, and then we go to
Episode
Thursday.
6. Yeah. We go into our next episode, and that is starts off with the aftermath of the nomination meeting.
Right.
And I was really touched by Adrian. I think he went into like the workout room and he was just like really kind of sad and talking about his family dynamics and like um
Yeah,
wasn't really feeling Adrian, but it did like tug on your heartstrings. I was
it
like,
did.
poor guy.
It did. I saw him in a different light.
Yeah, yeah, the more you learn about the house guest, it's like,
Right.
okay, yeah, it does make you more empathetic towards them in
Right.
different
Just
ways.
like on
So,
Survivor, by the end of the thing, you're in love with the characters that are on there. Same thing happens on
right,
Brother.
right. And so Adrian was really upset after the nomination meeting, and I wrote, "Wow, being nominated really does something to you," because like Kelly cried after the last nomination ceremony, and so
Yeah, because
I mean, I guess it's you don't want to leave, so it's like, well, now I'm one of my chances just got a lot higher that I am the person that has to leave now.
and
So it's a lot
going
of
in
pressure.
there, if you have a chance, 1 in 16 or 17 chance to win $750,000, and somebody put you on the block so that you aren't going to have that opportunity. Yeah,
Right. And it becomes
I'd
a
be upset.
33% chance that you're going to be sent home. Yeah, it's like,
I would.
uh-oh.
I know if I was on the show, I would cry. I would cry.
Yeah. I
And
would too. I'm a very emotional person, so
I don't. We talked about this. The older gal that was on last season, her name is Angela, and
oh, okay.
she's gonna be back on. Like, uh, we'll get to it when we talk about the veto competition. But they're bringing back a lot of former house guests in cameo roles, so to speak, in this season. It seems like they didn't do that very much before.
Yeah, it seems really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then the next thing we get is Rachel and Keanu in the kitchen. Um, so yeah, I think that's when she's like, "You're lying to me. You got a
Yep.
thing." And then Ava was like, um, "We have the veto competition meeting, and I don't know if it's before or after. I don't have when the competition happens in here, but Ava is like going into the gym and working out, and she's just like punching at the air and just kind of like doing
That
these
was
really silly things. It's like a montage. It's not even just once. It's like multiple times she's gone to the gym just to like fuck around, and it's hilarious.
it is. And I think, you know, they're outside a lot. They haven't shown it much this season, but normally all the big buff guys are out there working out. Well, they got this little gym inside this year. And so when they showed Ava doing that, I was thinking, oh, well, she's smart. That's the guys she needs to be talking to create alliances. She's not one to go work out, but hey, if that's what it takes to get in there and talk to them in a closed room, it's good for her for, trying. But yes, it's hilarious. Some
Yeah,
of the
I
things
mean,
she was
that's where,
working out, as air quotes.
right, right. She was like, well, I punched the air 3 times. I'm good today.
Yeah, and then she did kind of the same kind of concept when Amy and Rachel, and I don't know who else was in there with them. And she was in working out with the girls too. And I was like, oh, it's hilarious. And she was doing something, lifting the kettlebell. And
Right, just like throwing
she
it.
didn't
Like,
know what she was doing. It was
she was
hilarious.
like, they were like, when she was in there with the guys, I think it was Zach, he was like, oh, so what do you normally do at the gym? Like, he was like, treating her like she belonged
Let's
there,
work out.
and she was like, oh, just like the normal stuff.
It was hilarious.
It was such a good bit. And that is smart of her because we don't see a lot of Ava doing strategy or gameplay talk. Like, I don't
Right.
think Ava is in any alliances that we've seen. So,
No,
like, to like hang around in the gym when other people are in there is great because I don't think people see Ava as a threat.
no.
So,
And
hopefully
I'm
she does
thinking,
something with the information or like at least like the social cues that she could pick up on between like other
right.
players. Like, I hope she uses that to her advantage.
Oh, I think she's gonna go far, and we're not gonna expect it
Yeah.
because how quirky she is, and how
Like,
what,
unserious she is. Like,
yeah, and I think she's pretty smart, but she's not letting
yeah.
on, you know.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how far she goes and what kind of alliances and she gets into. But the more I think about it, her and Vince are a lot alike. I'm gonna keep going with that somehow,
Oh, I love it. I love a conspiracy theory.
right?
So, love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I could
can't
totally
think
see
of
them.
who their third one. I mean, if it is triplets, but definitely they could be siblings. And there's been siblings on here before, not just the twins. Yeah, CBS has
That's
been
so
known to do that.
interesting. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Kelly tells Will and Riley about her power. And I was just like, why are you telling them? Like,
Right,
it was just really weird to me. And like, I guess Kelly does feel like kind of in with the guys. And so,
right.
but like at this point, she hadn't even told Vince. So it's like, well, I wouldn't
And
have done
Vince is
anything
her
until I
final
told my
two.
number one. Yeah. Or sorry. Yeah. Her final two is what they call them in Big Brother.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Um, number one is like Love Island terms.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
don't
I
get
was just
closed
like,
off. They don't get
yeah,
closed
they don't
off on
close
Big
off
Brother.
here. Yeah.
Although
Um,
it's been known to happen, Rachel and Brendan were closed off.
right. You know what? We didn't really get like a lot of showmance this week.
No, no, they're
Like at
slacking.
all. Like
Rachel
we
needs to step
hardly
up.
saw yeah, we hardly saw Lauren and Catherine, which are like the two girls who we saw some of them like doing gameplay stuff, which I honestly appreciate that is what we're getting of them and not like just showmance stuff because that wouldn't be good.
Yeah,
But I did kind of miss the showmance aspect of it a little bit.
right. It'll be back because Rachel's gonna, with Amy not being there, she's gonna be. Oh, oops! Spoiler alert. She's gonna be looking for other ways to get involved. Excuse me. So I think she's gonna be pulling on the little showmance aspect again. She's gonna get
Yeah, I
people
think so too.
to go down that road. I think.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So then
Ooh,
we get Vince and Keanu in the kitchen, and I don't remember what they talked about. I wrote down Vince is smart, but I don't remember why. And then I was like, did Kelly even tell Vince that she has the power? Like,
not for a
I was just
while.
so confused about that. Yeah. Keanu definitely told Vince that he had the power. He didn't tell him, like, the full aspect of it, but he gave him, like, pretty much the basics of the power that he got. So,
Right. But man, I hope Mickey keeps hers. Poop, lock and key. Because
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that's going to come into play a lot more down the road.
Yeah. And then we have the scene of Rachel and Jimmy fighting, air quotes, about
Oh,
Rachel's wardrobe,
oh my gosh. That was
which was an
hilarious.
incredible scene. Yeah.
Yes. My favorite thing line of that interaction is when he said, "Oh, that looks like something out of my grandma's closet." After she said, "Oh, it's vintage." Well, yes, if it's in your grandma's closet, it's vintage.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, you're
It was
arguing and you're
just
saying the same thing, only you're not saying the same thing.
right. And it is funny because Rachel even pointed it out. Like, Jimmy is much faster than she is at, like, witty
Yes.
banter. And
Oh,
so at
yes.
one point, Jimmy was like, I love watching the buffering sign over your
Yes.
head when you're trying to think. And it's like, you can almost see that, like, in
Right.
Rachel's face, like, her thinking about how to. And it's just, like, all in jest. Like they
Right.
were both having fun picking on each other and or like reading each other, you know.
Right.
So it was cute. It was a really good scene, I think. I'm glad they included that.
Yeah. I don't know how far you know, now that things have changed, maybe they'll get tighter and make a final deal or something. Who knows?
Right. Oh, the theatrics, they will
Oh, the
shenaniganize,
two of
you know.
them? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then we get the scene of Will talking about being in the army, which was really endearing
Right.
to see him have that conversation with everyone.
And
And
the young kids that, he was probably in Afghanistan at the age that some of these other house guests are right now. You know,
right,
yeah.
yeah,
Being
and I
air or my dad was in career Air Force and my ex-husband was Navy, so I get the whole military thing. So that was a really good moment for him to share that.
yeah, and it was also nice because it was pre him being put on the block. So it wasn't like it felt really genuine. It didn't feel like, oh,
Right.
I'm trying to like make you feel some
Bad, so give me
some
your
type of
bullets.
way.
Right.
Yeah.
It
Like
was
it
prior to that whole thing.
right. And then we get a scene of Lauren and Catherine talking about gameplay and like Lauren is like super excited. She's like, "Oh, like I love working with Catherine," and Catherine's like, "I don't think I can take Lauren to the end.
Right. I was like,
I think
come
this means more to
on.
Lauren than it does to me." Yeah, it's kind of the
Yeah, because at the
vibes.
end, then it's the final two. Like Survivor now, they
Hmm.
have three people that go and say, "Hey, I win because I did this." At Big Brother is just the two, and then you vote for the winner. And so whoever you take, it means a lot. If you think they're going to get more jury votes and jury management, same thing. You don't want to be sitting by somebody that's done more and has more of the jury on their side, just like in Survivor.
Right,
So, she's so sweet. Lauren is the sweetest little gal, and everybody loves her. And, Catherine's not wrong. People might say, oh, well, she's America's sweetheart. Let's vote and let's give it to her. You know,
right,
so she's kind of
yeah,
smart thinking that. But there's a lot of gameplay between now and the final two. So we'll see.
right. And then we have the veto competition. And
Well,
we
we
get
got to pick players first, right?
we have the veto competition meeting first. And I forget that that's a thing. And that's when Keanu activates his mystery power.
Yep.
And so it's going to be Jimmy, who's the head of household, Adrian, Keanu, and Kelly, the three on the block. One player from the household, and then the mystery competitor.
Right.
So Ava gets chosen as the person who is playing for the house, and which is just so funny.
Right.
Like, and it makes sense that maybe they added her montage because she was like, these people are like competition. She was like, I got to be ready to be in the competition with all of these people who are so in shape, and then she is the one that got picked for the competition. So
The only one that got picked out of the drawing. So
yeah.
that
And
was funny.
so yeah, the veto competition was called Caught Creepin', and everyone comes out dressed as foliage with
They
different
were
colors.
potted topiary plants.
Yes. I was like, what is happening? And what's interesting is last week in the veto competition, they all dressed up as like rangers, and Jimmy also dressed up as a ranger, even though he was just hosting.
Right.
And to this one, Vince was hosting, but Vince was not a potted plant. Vince was just
Right.
in regular attire.
He should have had a
I
gardening
wonder if they
outfit or
get to
something.
choose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
should have
At least a
had him
sun
in
hat.
some kind of costume. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then we get our mystery competitor is Casey, who won
Season 22, maybe?
yeah, I thought maybe I would have written it down, but it looks like I didn't.
Yeah, I don't remember which season, but she was a veto beast. She has the record for winning the most vetoes. So if anyone
Right.
come in and help Keanu win that golden power of veto, he would want her. And as the competition went on, that that kind of happens. And when they start, they have all these flowery that match the color of their potted plant. Behind them is greenery and then flowers. And then there's two big like daisy looking flowers. And in the center of that is a button. And so they have to keep their finger or thumb on that button. One is up by their right shoulder, the other one is down by like their left hip. And they have to keep both of those on there when the round starts. And then they go to this little cutout, and it's a video, and it's Felicia, who was on either last season or the season before. Felicia is a character. And so they have her talking about all these things, but they can't release their buttons until she says the word creeper. She has said every other word that starts with CR in the English language except
Crater, croissant,
right,
critter,
crud, just so many words, so many words.
yeah.
And so if you release your button before she says it, you're disqualified. You're out. And who that happened to?
Yeah, so first the first time it happened, so the first one out was Kelly. Kelly didn't even try. And
Right,
I was like, why did she basically self-eliminate? Like, I was kind of pissed off about that. The
right.
next one was Ava, and she did try, but she was too slow.
She did try.
she she was out next. Then Jimmy false starts,
Yes,
and then Keanu false starts right after him,
yes,
which was wild that both of them false started.
right. I was so nervous. The final round was Adrian and our ringer, Casey, the mystery
Yeah.
player. And I was so nervous because Felicia kept, I mean, she dragged that out so long that you're like, come on. I would have let go in
I would have
anticipation.
too.
But
Yeah,
she said the
they did a
final
great job.
creeper, and man, it was close. It was a close finish between Casey and Adrian, and Casey again pulled out the win. She's the comp
Yeah.
beast.
Adrian said, I'm going to make like a tree and win this competition.
Yeah.
But yeah, Casey wins, which was incredible.
Yep.
I was excited. I like Keanu, so I want him to stay. I also think he has great rivalries with several people in the house, so that
Right.
makes good television, good plot
And he's
lines.
kind of handsome to look at, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, he's extremely handsome, for sure.
Right.
And we forgot to mention in the veto meeting, Jimmy and Keanu have a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Jimmy goes, this is your moment. Have it, which is a drag race quote. That's one of
Oh.
like the famous drag race lines that Jasmine Kennedy says in season 14. And so when he said that, I was like, oh, Jimmy loves drag race. It's like, me too. Um,
I didn't know that because I haven't watched. I think I've watched maybe a couple episodes of Drag Race. I haven't gotten into that, but
Yeah, it's one
yeah,
of their more iconic moments is her saying, "This is your moment, have it," and he did that, and then Keanu said, "I didn't hear the exact line, but he must have said, I'm picking you off one by one," and
yes,
everyone got really mad and offended by that, and I wrote, literally, isn't that everyone's goal to win? By definition, getting rid of other people one by one.
right. By definition, yes. However, and I don't. I mean, I don't know how many alliances and what other conversations that he may have had with people who kind of thought Keanu might have had their back, and now you're saying you're going to pick me
Sure.
off. They kind of were
Yeah.
not happy about it at all.
No one was happy. He rubbed everyone the wrong way with that. Like, everyone, yeah, everyone was like, you're going to pick me off? Like, WTF? Like,
Yeah, Ashley was the one that was like the most upset about him saying that. She kind
yeah,
of went off later in the kitchen. Rachel was right there. Ashley and Keanu were going back and forth at it. So that was
yeah,
a good conversation to witness as well for future because if Ashley gets HOH, he's going up. How many other people are
Keanu
gonna
and Kelly are just always going to be going up. People are like, Kelly will get herself off the block. That's what she's known for now. So,
right?
because,
And
like,
I don't know if
she
you
keeps
noticed,
saying that.
they keep saying, "Oh, I didn't want to get any blood on my hands. I don't want blood on my hands," and that's
Right,
another saying because if you got to put people up that you haven't, then they get mad, and then you're a target next, and yeah,
right. I wrote, Rachel thrives in chaos.
yes, she does. She does.
Because she was like, I want Keanu to stay because now everyone's mad at him for this,
Right,
which just keeps people not thinking about me. So
right. She's not lying.
yeah. So the next thing that happens is Casey wins. So Jimmy has to put another person on the block. So he puts up Amy, and then before that meeting can end, Kelly pulls out her secret power,
Yeah,
her
because
her
at the
mystery
end of
veto
the
power.
at the end of the veto meeting, Keanu uses or doesn't use his power of veto. No, he uses it on himself, and then he
On
said
himself.
the meeting is adjourned, and Kelly's like, not so fast. But wait.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. So Kelly then goes and has to build a puzzle on her own, and everyone's watching from the living room on a monitor. She has like 2 minutes to build this puzzle. If she is successful, she gets another golden veto. And it's a very like Nickelodeon esque themed kind of like
Yeah.
little challenge with like the bright orange and bright green. Also, like it gave me like Scooby Doo vibes, like Mystery
Yes.
Van
Yes.
vibes.
Same colors as the mystery van. Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, Kelly does it. She figures it out, and and Jimmy has to put up a fifth nomination,
Right.
and he puts up Will
Of all people.
of all people, and it just which Jimmy's in isn't is Will in the heavy hitters. I've got to make this alliance chart. Um,
Yeah.
aren't Jimmy and Will in the same alliance?
Are they in the Burger Boys
No,
together?
Jimmy's not in the Burger Boys.
Oh,
So no, they're in two separate. They're not
gotcha.
in the same alliances. I was like, aren't they in the same alliance? So it was a very, I mean, it was interesting choices. I don't know that we enter into episode 7 now, and which is the aftermath of the veto meeting. So we kind of start off with Morgan and Mickey complaining. They were like, Jimmy hasn't even talked to us a single time about who he thinks should be nominated for anything, should be put up on the block, should do
Right.
anything, and we're supposed to be in this alliance. And I wrote down Jimmy hasn't given a single thought to the triple threats. Like it has not
Right.
even crossed his mind.
Right. And they were sitting there, and then all of a sudden you see Mickey saying, "Yep, it's your HOH, and you're gonna do what you think is the best." And I agree. Why didn't she say something? Yes, it's your
Yeah,
HOH, but here we're in an alliance. Why are you? I She didn't. They didn't show on the regular CBS episode. Maybe there was more dialogue in the after hours and the feeds or whatever. But
right.
why didn't her and Morgan question him? If we're in an
I don't
alliance, you need
know.
to get our input.
Right.
Maybe that'll come back to
And
bite him later.
yeah, and I also wrote down like everybody has talked in their confessionals and even like in smaller groups like how they want to weaken Rachel, but no one's targeting Rachel. And so I guess in a way getting Amy out kind of weakens Rachel, like that was kind of like an adjacent move to
Right.
like without going for Rachel's like head on. But I think everybody's scared of Rachel. Like
Right.
no one's making actual moves against her
Not
except for
yet. They're
Zay.
treading
He was
very
the
lightly.
only one to confront her.
And look what he would,
Everyone else is like,
as she
I know,
said.
exactly,
She even said that.
exactly, yeah. So it's like I get it, I get why people are scared, but and then I wrote down Will should be a triple threat. Will should fill the Jimmy void, and it should be Will and Morgan and Mickey.
Yes.
But then what maybe you'll remember I was Ashley got some piece of information and she was like I have to tell Rachel. Oh, they were like we're all voting for Amy. And Ashley was like, "Well,
Oh,
I have to tell Rachel." And I was like, "Don't tell Rachel. Like Rachel's going to rally and make sure that the other person goes home." Like but I guess Ashley is loyal to Rachel and Amy, so that's what she did. And I wrote Ashley is ruining everything. Because I really wanted Will to stay. I didn't really care about Adrian, so like I would have been fine with him or Amy leaving because I wasn't a big fan of Amy necessarily either. I was like
right.
indifferent to both of them, but I
Right.
do like Will.
Right.
So
So then they had the
so
BB
yeah.
blockbuster.
Yeah. I do have a question before we get into the maybe Blockbuster. Are the have-nots for the whole time they're in the house or do
No,
they change?
they change usually every like Sunday, like at
So they
midnight on.
didn't
They didn't really talk
they
about
didn't
who.
discuss it. Yeah.
No, which, like
Cuz
I said,
I
there the have not thing isn't really a major component of the game anymore. You know what I mean? Before it was such a big deal, and then they had the have not, like a competition to see who would be the four people on have nots for the week. They don't do that
because those
anymore.
people are safe from eviction, right?
Typically, Yes. Well, they
See,
were the first four.
that's information we need because that goes into the
That might have
decision
been
for the
just for that first.
HOH.
That might have been just for that first week.
Oh, okay. I
So
wasn't.
maybe they
I
don't do
think I
it.
just assumed that was always.
No, maybe they don't do it. Maybe that's why they're not showing it as much because they're not doing have-nots every week. Whereas before, previous seasons, it would be every week, and instead of like one of the competitions, because back then they didn't really have the veto competitions either, but they had the have not competitions. They focused more on that until the vetoes came into play, and now the AI arena and the BB blockbuster in the past two seasons, there's no time to do the HOH or not HOH, the
The
have
have-nots.
nots. So I think that's maybe why we don't see it as much and it doesn't come into play as much. But before there were four every week and they could be nominated.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, now we are at the BB blockbuster.
Yes.
Um, and also, Rachel literally wore a black outfit and said, she said, "I'm wearing this because it's a funeral." She was like, she said something about that, which I thought was funny. Anyways, this was called not fingerprint puzzle. That's what it was. Puzzling Prince
Yes.
was the name, and they had like a big board that they had to do a puzzle that made a fingerprint.
Right.
Um, and so again, that was Will, Adrian, and Amy. It was kind of close
It
between
was.
Adrian and Will.
Well, Amy was right up there too. Because
Was
I
she?
focused
Yeah.
on her and Adrian. I wasn't watching Will that much. I
Oh, see,
glanced
I was
over.
watching Will and Adrian, so yeah.
Yeah, Amy was right there. In fact, at the end, Will had his pieces, the top two arched pieces on the top of the fingerprint. He had those
Mm-hmm.
backwards, and while he was doing that, Amy had placed like two or three pieces, and I'm like, "Go, girl, you're gonna get!" And so he ended up flopping those and got it. So Adrian didn't
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, and he was also wearing super cute glasses, and I was like, "Look at Adrian and his glasses." And everyone was wearing pink. They all
Yes,
coordinated and wore pink, which was adorable.
yes. And Julie even mentioned it to them. She said, "Hey, who's your stylist? You guys all look great." And everybody had some form of pink on. And I don't, in my memory, I can't remember them all doing that. Like coordinating the
It was
colors that
so
they're wearing.
fun.
Yeah, it was Julie. I mean, that's why she mentioned it because I don't think it's ever been done before. Somebody in the
It
comments
was so
correct me if
cute.
I'm wrong. So it was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then they gave their speeches, and I wrote again, Amy is not a good speech giver.
Not at all. But you know what? Okay, they're not supposed to talk about it. Who they're going to vote for, they're not supposed to talk about it. But some people, and you knew, and you could tell Amy knew, somebody must have sat her down and said, "We don't have the votes. You're going home." And let
Ashley and
her know.
Rachel did, yeah.
Yeah. So you can tell that she knew she was going home. Normally they give what they call a sympathy vote so that she doesn't it's not unanimous that she goes out. Blind sides are unanimous. Usually like Rachel could have voted to keep Amy and she still would have went home and then Amy wouldn't have felt some kind of way, you know what I mean? But they had it was 13-0. Amy didn't get any votes to stay, not even a sympathy vote. So she
I
was the one
know.
evicted.
Yeah, I wrote in all caps, Rachel voted for Amy? What? And
Yep.
then and then I was like, well, maybe they do that so like they kind of keep Will as an ally cuz that's who they're moving forward with in the game. Like
Right.
they
Right.
know Amy's going home, so it's like, well, Will, I didn't vote for you. So like
Right.
you
So
know,
that could be why they didn't do the sympathy vote, but I think Amy knew she was going. I think
yeah,
she knew. And then when
yeah,
she got out and she was talking to Julie, Julie's like, was it a mistake to get hooked up with Rachel and be so attached to her? She's like, yep, that kind of put a target on my back because Rachel has a huge target on hers. And that
right.
is true. You know, yes, they both are moms. Yes, they're both, a little older than some of the younger girls that are in there, but she's a big target. And when you align with that, you know, that's what
Yeah,
happened.
I think Rachel's going to make it far, and it's because I think whoever slides into her number two spot will
Right.
go next. Like, they're going to keep eliminating the people who are working with Rachel while not eliminating Rachel.
Right.
And, and so I think Rachel's going to make it far. I mean, also, she's an incredible player, so she's
Right.
incredibly strategic.
Right. She needs to
Um,
start winning some comps too, you know?
yeah,
Once she
yeah.
turns that on and starts winning some of these comps, which, she's competing against I say kids, younger people, more athletic people, more in, probably if it's a physical competition, but if it's a mental one, don't count Rachel out. So,
Oh, yeah, not at all.
yeah.
And the best line probably for the week was Julie saying to Will, "Am I your lemon drop?"
Yes.
In
And then
relation
she's
to
like,
him
oh,
saying,
she
"Yeah,
quickly
don't."
apologized to his wife because he
Yeah,
called he called his wife his chocolate drop, and so then
right.
Julie had to come up with something. Um, I
It
thought
was so funny.
I thought the other really cool thing in the voting, the eviction night, was Vince coming into the diary room to vote. And he's like having a meltdown, freaking out. And Julie's just like, calm down, dude. Take a deep breath. It's okay. You're going to be fine. And so kind of talked him out because he was like really nervous. And usually that's part of like production. You don't see that. And then you saw that interaction. And then later, when they were in, I forget, he might have been talking to Keanu in the storage room. He was
Afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, he was telling that story. Well, I was really nervous, and Julie told me he said he couldn't believe he was sitting in front of Julie. And she's just
Well,
like,
because this was his first week voting because he
oh,
didn't vote
that's
last
true,
week.
that's true.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, oh, and so then he was sharing that moment with Keanu, and maybe they'll hook up and become an alliance too.
I hope
Yeah.
so because I really like Vince and I really like Keanu. So,
Right, and then
and
Kelly, the
then my
three of them,
other favorite, oh, yeah,
the three of
yeah,
them,
I would love
Kelly,
that.
Keanu, and Vince. That
Yeah.
would be good.
And then my other favorite thing was when they did messages for Amy and
Hmm.
they ended with the mastermind. And he
Right,
said, if only you were as skilled at the blockbuster, or sorry, if only you were as skilled at the Big Brother game as you were pushing secret buttons for me.
right, right. So they normally show that the goodbye messages that people leave because they all have to get called into the diary room and they have to make video messages of everyone that's on the block. Oh, if you're seeing this, then you're the one that's voted out. I'm sorry we had to do it, blah, blah, blah. So they all do goodbye messages for both people that are on the block. And then
Yeah,
whoever gets out gets to see theirs. And
yeah, that's
sometimes,
cool.
a lot of times at that time, things are revealed. Like, well, you didn't know, but we did this and this, or you didn't know, but we were in a line. And so some of that stuff then gets to the jury. Because if you're going out and the jury's already started and goodbye messages tell you kind of some of those things, that gets into the jury. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting. Do
Yeah.
you
So
think at the beginning of next episode they'll tell everyone that she was the accomplice?
oh, they might. They might. Unless that's going to come back
Like,
into
how else would
play.
they know?
Unless it's going to come back
That
into
would be
play
fun.
later on somehow, and then they're still going to think that it's whoever they didn't vote for, Keanu or Riley. I forget who they voted for and who they didn't. But if it comes back into play, maybe I don't know, or maybe Julie might tell them.
Right.
But I don't know if they're going to
Interesting.
do it. But sometimes, like I said last time, they have a after the fourth person goes out, they have a four-person battle back, so that one of those people gets to come back in. I don't know if they're going to do that or
Right.
not. It's been a few seasons since they've done it. Um, maybe
Yeah,
not
who
because they
knows
have
since they already had an
they have
extra person
17.
come in at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the thing about Amy, if what if she wins that competition and she's going right back in and she got in because she pushed the buttons and you know what I mean? I don't know if they're gonna do that. It's been
Right.
done a few times.
We'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, one
And
time
then
they
to
did
finish
the
off,
wall. They did the wall competition and I mean the wall is like an iconic one and they have to lean and it's just stuff blowing on them and spraying on them. They did the people that were in the house and then the four people that had been voted out were all on the wall at the same time. And so of those
oh,
four,
wow.
the last person to fall got to come back in and then of this the last person to fall was HOH or something like that. And
Oh,
normally,
okay.
yeah, normally whoever comes back in right away, boom, they get put on the block. Well, they can get a
Right.
veto and they can, it's really fun. It's fun. I love Big Brother. I love it.
It's awesome. I really like it so far.
I'm glad. I am so glad. I was worried because you'd never seen it before. And I'm like, well, what if he doesn't like it? We've got a podcast going on and he doesn't like it.
No, I do really like it. It's definitely it's not like I feel like it's sort of behind, not behind. It's just like I feel like you can tell like that it's from a different era than like the reality shows that are coming out now.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think that's like the charm of it. Like
Right. And,
that's
and
like what sets it apart.
Right. And had you started from season one and you knew it really has changed since it first started. And if you go back
Yeah.
and watch season one on Paramount Plus, they're not sponsoring us, by the way. If you go back and watch previous seasons, you'll see it's totally different. It's totally different. They
Yeah.
showed them outside all the time. They're smoking outside all the time. And it's just so different now, so different, but it's a good different. It's really cool. I like it a lot. I wanted to be on Big
Yeah.
Brother really bad. I wanted to be on Big Brother when my kids were really young, but now not gonna do that. I'm too old now, although there's been people that are older than me that are on there, so they need to
Yeah.
do a retire version of Big Brother, like all older people.
Yeah, like a golden Big Brother, like how they're doing the
Yes,
golden
yes.
Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Let's do it and have more of the competitions. Maybe not be as physical. Maybe, the slime ones or just wait till you see OTEV. Okay? OTEV is veto spelled backwards. That is a very physical competition and it is the iconic one. It's in every single season and it's so involved and it's very physical. And Angela was in it last year and she's older and she had a few fluffiness to her. She had some fluffiness and she did really well. She held her own in that. So, there are more
That's
people,
awesome.
size inclusive, age inclusive. They're trying to do that. So,
That's
but
awesome.
that
I
would
love
be
that.
fun. Instead of the celebrity
Yeah.
Big Brother, the Golden Big Brother.
Yeah. Well, that is our week of Big Brother. We'll, you know, be
How about
talking
for
about next week.
how
But
about
now for cross stitch.
wait a minute. What are we going to do next
Oh,
week? We are going to be.
oh yeah,
Shall we let the cat out of the bag now about next Thursday?
yeah. Why not? Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, give the people something to look forward to.
Okay, guys, be prepared. I am going from Michigan to Madison, Wisconsin for a quilting retreat. The quilting retreat gets done Wednesday night. I check out of my hotel Thursday, which is eviction night on Big Brother. So I'm going to travel to Milwaukee, where Neil lives, and we are going to watch the eviction episode together live on our podcast and YouTube
Yay!
podcast. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's our first time, so we're going to go through all of this right along with you guys. We may record it, we may pause during the show and talk about what we're thinking of what's going on as the show is progressing. We don't know, but it'll be fun Thursday night live. And then we'll do our regular recording on Friday. And do we want to talk about the new show that's coming out on CBS? It's
Yeah,
called
we can
Big,
definitely mention it. Yeah,
yeah, Big Brother. What's it called? Unstoppable,
Unlocked.
Unlocked. Big Brother
Big
Unlocked.
Brother Unlocked. Yeah.
And if you're a super fan like I am, you're gonna know Derek. I just say his first name. You guys know who Derek is. Season, I believe, 16 winner. He was with Cody and Victoria, and they ran the whole house the whole season. He's gonna be on it with our girl Taylor, who won season 24 or 26. One of those
24.
seasons. 24. And she's my
Yeah.
girl from Michigan. Go Taylor. So we are going to watch their show. They're going to have a lot of former guests on their show. They're going to have a lot of celebrities who are Big Brother super fans on their show. And they're going to do commentaries similar to what we're doing. But we are going to be recording our synopsis before that show is aired, even though we might not get it posted until the next morning. We're recording ours before that show comes on Friday nights. So stay tuned for that. What else is happening in
Yes,
our.
very excited about that too.
Yes, I love Derek. He is so cool. So cool. Go back and watch his season. You will love it. You will be even more in love with Big Brother. So, let's talk about cross stitching. Have you been stitching on anything, Neil?
I did. Yesterday was actually 100 days till Halloween, so I pulled out a Halloween piece. Well, it's not necessarily Halloween, but um, are you familiar with the Baba Yaga folk
Yes.
tale? She's I don't actually know much about the folk tale, but it's the house with the like the chicken legs.
Yes, I've heard about it, but
Is
I didn't.
the iconography, yeah. And so I worked on the top of my house this week. See if you can see. So this is the
Oh, yeah.
roof, and I've started the chimney here, and started. I've got like a gray variegated floss that I'm doing the house and the chimney out of. So I'm starting to come down to make the little house, but
Yeah, I
and then
love
the
that
eyes are
roof.
supposed to be red.
I
Yeah.
love that roof. It
It's super
looks
cute.
like a authentic thatched roof that they have out in England, the
Yeah.
yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. It's a pattern by Lindsay Swearigan, and her handle and like design business is called Tusk and Cardinal.
Oh, cool.
She does a lot of spooky stuff.
Nice.
So
Well,
yeah.
anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
What about
Well,
you,
speaking
Barbara?
of Halloween, I started
Boo!
Bruno's.
So cute.
Yes, Primrose Halloween Quaker. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with all the Quakers that they have done. Lindsay has come out with quite a few of them. Well, I had to start. I'm using all the called for except the white didn't show up on my fabric. My fabric is a 40 count maple bar by Cedar River Linen. Hi, Jody, if you're watching, this linen is I love this linen. So she's Trixie Tricycle on YouTube. If you guys want to watch Jody, she's really good. But her fabrics are just yummy. But the white that's called for was Parchment by Weeks, and it didn't show up. So I'm using the Ara Floss. And that's my little star with a little ghost.
Cute.
Just a little
That's
ghost.
adorable with the little
That's this little
ghosty.
tiny bit you can't see because of the pillow with the way they make their pillow. So I'm not going to do it in a
Right.
pillow finish, but I think this is going to be my exchange piece for the thread the needle stitchery seasonal swap that I'm in, and the person I got wants Halloween stuff, so that I think is what I'm going to do for that. um Speaking of Quakers, whoopsie, I'm dropping things. Hold please. They have quite a few Primrose. They have a winter Quaker.
Oh, cute.
They have, you might recognize this because this is what I did and gave as my exchange gift at StitchCon.
Oh,
And you
yes.
remember
Oh, I love that one.
it was on the white
Yes.
frame. I think one of your table mates got it. Maybe no, it was a table next to you guys. Um, and this is a
Oh, okay.
28 count Monaco that I dyed pink,
Beautiful.
modeling
Oh,
on it.
wow. Such a
Yeah,
good
I
job.
dyed that, so I'm gonna stitch it for myself on
That's
that.
incredible.
This is a cocoa Quaker. Got this snowman and a cup of hot
Cute.
cocoa. And then they have
Love
a
that.
spring Quaker.
I just love like variegated monochromatic stuff.
Right.
I love
So
that.
this is patriotic Quaker.
Oh, cute.
And I've started this on 56 count. I got a teeny tiny start on that. So it's gonna be, I mean,
Yeah,
if I'm
56
doing
count
these,
is teeny tiny.
yeah, if I'm gonna do these as like little pillows, I want all the different sizes. And then this is called the Autumn Quaker, and it's all monochromatic as you see how she stitched it. But I
Yeah.
found this gorgeous cottage garden threads, and it's called Aster, and
I
it's,
love cottage garden threads.
look at how variegated that is. So I'm
That
going to
is
use
going to be
this and just
incredible.
randomly take it out, and I've got a start on it. This is my
Yes.
start.
It's so
So
pretty.
I'm going to do this whole thing, and it's on like a sagey green color. You can see the modeling better when I hold it back. But it's like a sagey green,
Yeah,
and
that's pretty.
it's going to turn out so cute. Yes, and
I'm obsessed with that. I
I'm not
love
gonna
that.
mess around with how the variegation ends up. I'm just gonna stitch. And this is fall. And this is the time of year after 4th of July. I really get into the fall. I love fall is my favorite season to stitch. Um Again with Primrose Cottage. I think this was a Friday freebie, or it's on their website, or I can't remember. But last year, the year before, this came out, and it's called Give Thanks, and I finished it.
Oh my gosh, look how cute that is.
I changed up the colors to make them a bit
Oh,
more bright, and it kind of matches the fabric that I put on it. And then I put some buttons that
it
are kind of the same
does.
colors, and then tied a little lace ribbon around it.
You should take pictures of it so we can post it on our Instagram.
Okay. I might have some
Like
on my
once you
Instagram.
post it to your own Instagram.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
probably
should
have it.
repost those.
Yeah, I love fall most of all. And then on the same line, they do have a winter one that's similar to that I'm going to do next.
Cute.
It's so cute. I
Oh, I
mean,
love those hearts.
they're so, and this one, I have almond M&Ms silks that I've picked
Oh,
out to do this winter one.
incredible.
Yes, I can't wait. It's so
I love
fun.
Ymir's
I like
threads.
I like
Yeah.
Primrose patterns. They're very simple. I started out when I got back into stitching, I really got into stitching with the housewives and a lot of the basic to get back in that a lot of people can stitch on 14 count. Nothing wrong if you're in the Aida, if that's the space you're in, that's great. I have moved on. I'm not saying everybody has to move on. Stitch what you love. So you love what you stitch. If you're forcing yourself to try to do these higher counts and you're not enjoying the stitch, then don't do it. Stay where you're comfortable. And somebody was complaining at a retreat I was at that all the floss tubers start on 14 count and they get in the linens and then they make the rest of us feel bad. I don't want anyone to feel bad about what they stitch on. If you stitch on 14 count and that's all, you love what you're stitching on, keep stitching on it. There are some beautiful things that happen on 14 count Aida, and there is nothing wrong with that. So, if I've ever given anybody the feeling that they are less than because they only stitch on Aida, I'm apologizing from the bottom of my heart. You stitch on what you love, so you love what you stitch. There, I'm off my
Yeah.
soapbox now.
I stitch a ton of things on 16 count Ada. So,
Right. And
yeah.
that's what you're,
Stitch on whatever you want.
exactly. Because if you aren't happy with it and it's a struggle, then you're not going to want to stitch. You're not going to want to do it. And, I still have whips that I started. And I know in my whip parade, I've said, oh, I'm restarting this because it's on Ada. I'm not saying that because Ada's bad. It's just, I'm not comfortable stitching on it anymore because I like the linen. That's my happy place. I can stitch on the other stuff, but that's not what makes me happy. If that's what makes you happy, yeah, happy for you and keep doing it because it doesn't matter. We're all different. We all like different things. We all, have different results. We have different designers that we love. And, it's just a lot of fun. It doesn't matter what you stitch on as long as you're stitching. And speaking of which, last weekend, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Stephanie Webb. She's got Lindy Stitches. She's a designer, but she also hosts the most amazing virtual retreats. The big one that a lot of people might know about is called the Jingle Ball, and it's going into year 4 or 5 in December. Well, she did a midsummer stitch last weekend, same kind of concept, specific designers, a shopping area, classes you can take, stitching tables so you can meet with other stitchers virtually. If you haven't signed up for one of her events, I recommend you all do that. There's another one coming up in September, and I forget off the top of my head the name of
Oh,
it, but
really?
yes, it's the 19th and 20th, I believe, of September. I had a little card. I'll take a picture of it and send it
Almost
to
my
you.
birthday.
Yes, and it's so fun. And it starts like 9 o'clock in the morning on Eastern time on Saturday morning, and it goes all the way until midnight on Sunday, West Coast time. So we get few extra hours. And the stores will shut down, but as long as people are in those rooms at the stitching table, they stay open as long as people are in there. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a way to meet people, and there's going to be classes that are offered. I know one of them is, Tiger Lily Designs is going to teach people how to make a project bag. And there's a lot of stuff that you can buy kits ahead of time. You can buy products. There was a Bestitch Me fabric specially dyed for one of the designers in the Midsummer Stitch. It sold out in 40 minutes. So there are so many people that go online virtually, and there's a lot of really cool stuff if you want to go shopping, or if you just don't buy anything and you just stitch with your friends on at the stitching table. It is so much fun. So I'll get the information to Neil so
Yeah,
he
it
can
is
link it below.
during. Yeah, it
What's that?
is. It's on my birthday. It's the Harvest Moon Hangout, September 19th through the 21st.
Yes, awesome. So that one is a 3 day
Fun.
one. That one will probably then start on Saturday night, or I mean Friday night, like the Jingle Ball. And it's so much fun. So if you haven't done it, go check out Lindy's website. Go get your tickets, go on sale for that. I believe Friday, August 1st, tickets go on sale, and the tickets are $10. It's that gets you into the whole event for $10. You can't beat that with the big stick. So 1 year for the Jingle Ball has 12 or 13 designers. That's the bigger event. These smaller ones throughout the year. She did one on Super Bowl Sunday that was really fun too. But these bigger events, you just meet your friends in the stitchy room, and you just it's so fun. It is so fun. Check it out. And it's $10 is all it costs to get in and have a blast. 1 year for Jingle Ball, I went down. My friend Kara, hi Kara, lives in Anderson, Indiana. She's single mom, 4 kids, very busy with all her kids. So I knew she couldn't go somewhere away. So I came to her hometown, got a hotel room, and we just kind of attended the Jingle Ball together. We had pajamas, matching pajamas, and tiaras and boas, and we just had a fun time at the Jingle Ball. So sign up for the fall one. It'll be a lot of fun. And no,
That's
Lindsay,
awesome.
I'm not being sponsored by Lindy Stitches either. it's just a, it's just
We're
a
just
fun event.
fans.
Yeah, it's just a big fan. It's a fun event. You guys will have a blast, trust me. If you're a stitcher, if you're listening to our podcast and you're not a stitcher, well, then you need to start stitching and come join us over on YouTube and learn about all the things.
Well, I think that wraps it up for us this week. So, everybody, keep your stitches tight.
And your alliance is tighter. Bye, everybody.
Bye.